This one's gonna make you want to call mom and dad and say you miss them. Hey, what's up to all my play pals out there? This is Mr. Good Guy 1988. Before we get into the nitty gritty of this review, if any of you are not following me currently or subscribed to the channel, just do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, that way we can be friends to the end and you get all the greatest updates on any sort of future reviews or unboxings that I do on Chucky content. And then hit that like button, that way I start living rent free in the YouTube algorithm's head. And first and foremost, before we get started into this review and unboxing, one question. What do you guys think of that intro? Pretty generic, right? Yeah, so that's just a little placeholder right now until I actually come up with my own little intro that I'm going to splice together for you guys, a little bit more Chucky themed. But just to try to make this a little bit more professional looking, that's just a little placeholder. So forgive me if I, seem like I'm using, $2 templates, but just, bear with me for this little, video, whatnot, for what you just saw. But let's get beyond that, okay? Let's get to why you are all here in the first place. Now this piece is directly from Moody Pudding Studios. This is a direct commission that I got from them. I made the purchase back in June. Now receiving him, they're having a little bit of a problem with backlog orders and whatnot, so they're trying to play catch up. But regardless of the wait, I have no problems with the final product. He looks amazing. I'm sorry, not he. They look great. They look amazing. And obviously, from head to toe, the sculpt is almost 100% like the original baby Glen from the film. From head to toe, as you can see, the flared nostrils, the expression, just trying to make sure that I can get it on camera perfectly. That way you guys can enjoy it and view it. But obviously, before we get more into the in-depth details of this sculpt, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a little bit more high-definition footage for you guys to enjoy as I go, through each of its features. And we're just going to start off with the hair first and foremost. It looks like they are ripped strands of a synthetic wig, a brown or brunette synthetic wig that have been glued, or there's like an adhesive that keeps it down. And I'm not sure if this is just like a standard glue in order to keep it stuck to the rubber to the back of his head. But basically it's also coated in what Mark from MPS has called Psycho Paint, which is really cool. It also, the Psycho Paint also makes up the blood aesthetic of the doll. So all the red that you see on Glen is basically that paint, which it's a great touch and a great addition to the piece. Next, we're going to be moving over to the eyes. As you can see here, the eyes are that very clear translucent blue, similar to what you see in Chucky, as Chucky gets more used to being in his body, his doll body, as he progressively becomes more human, where their eyes have a little bit more of that natural, blue color, that makes Glen look a little bit more human. So it was a great touch to have these eyes. I do know that the eyes are posable, so you can move them left, right, up, and down, or you can basically remove them. I'm not going to go out of my way to try out and remove these eyes because my fingers are so big compared to the sockets that I fear the idea of even ripping the sockets and just ruining the sculpt in general. So I'm not even going to attempt that whatsoever. The expression that Glen has on their face is basically a one-for-one match of what you see in the final scene of Bride of Chucky. And one thing I always notice when these dolls are made is that, there's a certain expression that, certain collectors or certain people who make these dolls, are looking to kind of replicate. And obviously with Glen, there's such a broad range, even in such a small scene, of expressions to use. And I think they went with the right one here. Glen's face looks perfect. Obviously, the eyebrows, the eyebrow ridges, the expression, and the flaring of the nostrils make it so much more intense when you look at Glen up close. When you see that snarling, and it makes you really scared for your life, especially if you were to look at this thing and it truly makes it more terrifying, is the best way I can really put it. It starts, when you look at it up close, it makes you really consider what the detective in that scene was thinking when he first saw Glenn. But now we're going to move over to the teeth. The teeth are still made of the same rubber. If there's any sort of discrepancy I might have with the piece, is that I wish that the teeth were kind of like maybe I don't know, some kind of plastic, maybe some kind of sharpened plastic to kind of go in there. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure it's a little bit difficult to do, especially trying to implement that with rubber. To kind of like, when you play with the mouth or when you look at the teeth and whatnot, like you want to feel that sharpness. Obviously, you know, um, that's not the case here. They're all made of rubber. But that being said, if they were to try to implement that, that's something I would suggest if they're able to incorporate that in any sort of way for any future Glen dolls that get made. Glen's body is pretty durable. The only thing I would say is that the head is extremely heavy to the point where, like, when it's interconnected to the body by the neck, the doll's head will hang to the front or to the back, which can add a whole bunch of stress to the rubber. So I mean, I understand that it's durable. At least that's what I'm being told by MPS. But at the same time, like how rubber can eventually like just stress itself out. So me personally, again, that's one other thing I wouldn't risk too much on. It's like holding a real life baby, so you still got to be somewhat delicate, with the doll itself. So one of the few things that I did notice is that a few of Glen's appendages are interconnected at like the elbow, um, where you could see like the point of connection that they did in order to connect the forearm to the elbow. If there's anything I can really say about that is just try in the future to make that a little less transparent. It's really not that big of a deal to me. I really don't care, but some other customers might have issues with that. But for me, I don't really seem to care about that too much really. Um, the hands, maybe a little bit more detail on. I guess on this one, maybe there might have been a little bit of a rip to the pinky on this one. But other than that, again, like these are just small little issues that I'm seeing with it. I mean, overall satisfaction with the doll is tremendous. Just small little nitpicks here and there. Usually I'm really nitpicky when it comes to these sorts of things, but those little problems are not critical to me. And now we're going to the belly button slash umbilical cord. This is a great little add-on, considering the fact that we have never really actually seen this in the film. Obviously, Glen's a baby, so you're gonna have an umbilical cord attached to the mother. So it's just obvious anatomy, type deal there in terms of what a baby's going to come with. But they added this little feature, and I think is a great little touch to the doll itself. The legs are stationed in a certain position, basically as if like they're bent at a 90-degree angle at the knees. Obviously, the most common position that you're going to see this doll in is either on its back or on its stomach. Whether you're posing the doll, if you plan on using it for photography, it's going to be extremely difficult to place it in any sort of static position because obviously it doesn't have an opposable skeleton within the body. It's completely ragdoll and made of rubber, so there's no way you're going to be able to station this unless you had some kind of assistance. So if you plan on using it for photography or videos and whatnot, keep that in mind. However, majority of the cases that this is just going to be a display piece for most collectors. So if any of you are trying to get this doll specifically, and you're intending on doing any sort of filming or photography with it, just keep that in mind. For collectors, enjoy. So that ends the review. There's really not much that can really be discussed about this specific doll, considering how small it is, and it's just no, there's no clothes, there's no attire, it's just bare bottom back Glen. So, but I do want to say that it's a testament to MBS's work when it comes down to this specific doll, because this one seems to be a very common one that they sell and a very highly demanded one. And from what I gather, being able to own it, like this is something that a lot of people don't ever really get a chance to actually own or even have in their collection because it's so hard to get Not to mention the fact that, because of what's going on with MPS's, backlog order situation, they have to shut down commissions right now in order to try to play catch up. That way they can, satisfy the customers that are having issues and trying to they're trying to get shit right. So at least, from a collector standpoint and someone who's had issues like that before with, third party creators or, custom creators and even big business creators and companies that mass produce these dolls, I can understand exactly what the consumer concern is, and I can also understand where the concern is from a creator standpoint. So this right here is something I'm very proud of to have in my collection, and I'm so happy to have it. So is my wife, and we're going to be having a lot of great moments creating photography and content and videos with the dolls. So this is such a great add-on to our Chucky collection, and I'm so pleased and happy. So if I had to give the doll a rating, I would definitely say it's for the time spent waiting on it, for the craftsmanship, for the detail, the accuracy. I'm gonna have to say it's probably a good 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10. And like I said, there's just a few nitpick issues with the doll that I received when it comes down to the craftsmanship and the way the rubber looks with the doll. But yeah, it's definitely a 9 out of 10. But small few deficiencies, pretty much lost it a full 10. But either way, I'm still happy. I'm still happy with the final product, and I couldn't be more pleased. And I wanted to make this review that way in case any of you guys are inquiring about trying to get one for yourself. This helps to help you make that decision, whether you decide to go and purchase from MPS or not. But regardless, yeah. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my review video of Glen and doing like a pseudo unboxing. The actual live unboxing was on IG, so if you want to go check that out, it's actually on my IG page, so go over there and watch that. But that being said, after seeing the review video, just do me a favor to go to the comment section and let me know what you guys think of the unboxing or what you guys think of the review. The craftsmanship, what do you think about the doll overall, and what do you think about what's going on in the Chucky franchise right now in terms of what's Chucky in space? All right, we can talk about that. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on that, or if you want to talk and discuss about other possible installments in the franchise, we can talk about that too. Just let me know what kind of future content you're interested in seeing on the channel, and then I can see if we can make it happen. All right, so once again, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you guys have a good weekend.